Welcome back, everyone, to this edition of Try Hard Racing with me, Roll Case TV, where I do the best I can with what I've got, which is not a lot of talent, but a whole lot of racing to do. Got kind of a long race here in the rain. This stream started a couple episodes ago with a rainy. That's 3 laps wrong. With a rainy 3-lap race. Oh well. So yeah, this is going to be at least an hour, I think. I qualified last, unsurprisingly. And I already have a full tank of gas, so don't worry about that. At least it's a mass start. I have to wait a minute and a half for everyone in front of me to go. And sorry about the inevitable motion blur, especially in the rain. This is a stream that happens even at 1080. I don't have the ability, streaming from the Xbox, to set the custom set the bit rate. The highest I can set it to is on a drop-down menu to 6,000 kilobits per second, and that's not enough to get rid of all the motion blur on 1080p. Yeah. I'm still ahead of somebody. This probably means they'll be on me. If you're ended once and then they end you again, they re-end you. No, I thought I was gonna. I knew if I kept turning at that sharp at that speed, I was going to end up just falling off in the rain, especially. So I had to let up a little bit and end up hitting the grass. Oh, see what happens when you hit the grass, buddy? Don't worry, you'll catch up to me again soon. Oh, did not slow it down enough, but might save it. Yes. My mouth's gonna hit me. That'll be appropriate. Unless he also didn't slow down enough. Oh, he's right on me. I can't believe I saved that. Yep, bit of a longer race. Cruising through. This is the second season of the Superbike. Did 5 seasons of Super Sport with every upgrade level from 1 to 5. You get 5 upgrade levels. And so this is Superbike with upgrade level 2. So basically, getting the bike faster and faster all the way along. But also more and more difficult all the way along. Better handling, better brakes, but also more speed, so overall more difficult. The Super Bikes than the Super Sport, as you would imagine. And then progressing through the upgrade levels of the Super Bike. I don't know if you are more competitive against the AI with more upgrades. Possibly. I think the one time I finished in 8th place, it was on the Super. I think it was my last season of Super Sport. So with the full upgrades on Super Sport. So there's still a chance that maybe I'll finish decently by the time I get to the season 10, the last season of the Superbike. Not gonna do these are with the 2022 bikes. I'm not gonna do a series of seasons on 2023. I will find another game to play. I'm still not sure what other game I'm gonna play. Also, I don't want to have to make new thumbnails for a different game. the file I use to make my thumbnails is getting kind of large because I've got all the old thumbnails in there from a bunch of other games that I don't play anymore, so I could get rid of that, but there's no way to copy. It's an old game that they don't even support anymore. You can't get upgrades to anymore. On a tablet. I can't change it to a different format or anything, so. Yeah, and if the file gets too large, it kind of doesn't save right, so if I add a new thumbnail, I'm at the limit. I have to find some way of making it smaller, which I can do because I have all my screen captures are still saved as PNG files, which are like 10 times larger than if I made them JPEGs. And that's one thing I can save off separately and transfer over, just a picture file. That's easy enough to do, but the vector graphics and things I have, I can't transfer. I mean, what would be nice is if I could load up one. There's no clipboard, is what I'm saying, so there's no way to take a vector graphic in one file, so I can make multiple files for all of my for the various thumbnails. I can do for graphics, I can do make them PNGs, and then I can you know, import them that way, but they're not, you know, they're not vector. The vector graphics I can't change, and if I have, you know, drop down shadows and stuff like that, I have to save them all in the same PNG file. But the text, I can't then edit the text if I save it as a PNG file. But I don't think the text takes up that much room. So what I think I'll do is I can make the file size smaller if I take all of my background thumbnail images, save all the PNGs, save them off as PNGs, but then also save them off as JPEGs and replace the PNGs in the file with JPEGs. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know. The name of the program is, I can't remember. Oh, I can remember the program. It's like the best program I could get, still can get on the Android. As far as other graphics programs, even worse. As far as the performance is great, even though I have the file size is getting large. Oh, what is it? Photo. Oh, Mobi Systems Photo Suite or something like that. And they don't support the program anymore, which is a shame. It doesn't have all the features that I would like you would get on like a PC. And they don't have, unfortunately, like grep or any other even open source programs. If you search for it on the Android Play Store, they'll name their programs that, you know, you'll find all these other programs, but that's not actually the open source software. It's just some other graphics program that doesn't have all the features that you would expect. Is really badly. I have one that's allows me to do some things. It's multi-layer, something that I can't do with the other one, the Moby Systems one. But I can't put more than about 10 layers on without it taking forever to do any kind of editing. It's so awful. But it does let me make PNG files for certain things with a bit more precision. I can very precisely align things on the screen and stuff like that. So some of the graphics I have in the thumbnail are imported PNGs from vector graphics that I created from this other program. But I can only do small, not complicated things. I couldn't do an entire thumbnail in it. I used to do, and I'm going to mention it, but I think by the time this YouTube video is out, it's probably already passed. My mid-spring marathon. I have one every season. First Saturday in May, 12 hours from noon until midnight. And I used to do the schedule in this multi-layer photo thing, but I could not even edit the text. It's just the performance with more than, like you said, about 10 layers is horrific. So I do them in the Moby Systems one now, which works great. It handles the performance of editing things great, but if the file gets too large, it's just... What happens is when you save it, some of the text, it alters the size of the text field, and you can't, it's like you can't select it and change the text anymore. It's very weird. You can still read it, and it's text I can copy from somewhere else and change the text, but then it just, the file's too large, and so it keeps messing up. I think it's the file too large, it's not the number of layers I have. One thing it doesn't allow me to do, though, is there's no real way. I don't know if it even supports a mouse and keyboard, but it doesn't let you very precisely align things. You have to drag it with your finger. You can zoom in really far, and so you can drag it, fairly accurately. But you can't say, okay, I want this graphic to be center aligned with this graphic and things like that. You have to do that all kind of manually. Not that my thumbnails are so beautiful, but third of the way done. I can drop the layers now that have the now in 1080 HD, which is something I did just for the first few streams I did in 1080. The first stream of every game I played in 1080, I had that on there just to remind myself of what the video was, the first YouTube video that had 1080. But yeah, it's kind of a joke. It's kind of hokey. I wasn't going to do it in every video, every thumbnail from that point forward. think I bumped my mic. I think that's the only reason that I bumped my mic cord. I got a little crackly. We'll see. If it starts to go nuts, I'll have to unplug the mic. Only happens in this game. This game also, I used to, earlier season, like the first 5 seasons, first 4 or 5 seasons, when I didn't qualify for the final race, I did a custom race that mimicked the final race, which you actually, when you select the course, you can select TTLMN, and it mimics the TTLMN race, rather than just selecting this section or the entire thing. You can select, you know, final race as a custom race. But I don't do that anymore because after about 2 laps, not quite 2 laps around that course, which means probably about an hour in the same race. Not an hour. It would be, yeah, if it's not quite 2 laps, it'd be more like 50 minutes or something. 40 minutes. Let's say 40 minutes during a single race. The game audio would cut out. Now this race might be longer than 40 minutes. It's 3 laps. So I don't know. I couldn't. So the bottom line is I couldn't do the custom race for 4 laps around the main course because the game audio would cut out, and I have to do half of the race without game audio. So I don't do that anymore. I just skip the final race if I don't qualify, which I won't qualify. I can't qualify. So I guess literally I'll never finish the career mode because I won't finish the final race. But they do end the season after. If you don't qualify for the final race, you can't try to re-qualify again. So your season is over. You have to start a new season. But that's the only qualifier that has a restriction. Every other qualifier, it doesn't matter how poorly you do, you'll still qualify for the final race or just be in starting last place. Which is fortunate. I was mentioning earlier about Ride 4. I cannot even start the career in Ride 4 because the game is harder than Ride 3, of course. And you can't, the timer is not based on the AI difficulty, so there's no way to turn down the timer. You know, give yourself more time. Change the difficulty level. Does not also change down the timing challenges. And I can't get past the first timing challenge in the career, and there's no way to avoid it. So I cannot even start the career mode in Ride 4. Very disappointing. No, it wasn't a cheap game. Ride 5 is out now, but I need the new console for that, and I don't have a new console. I have Ride 2, 3, and 4. 2 is probably still my favorite. Just like I have 1, 2, and 3 of this game, and 1 is still my favorite. 2 is good. I played 2 for hours and hours and hours. I probably played 2 more than I played 1, to be honest. I didn't get 1 when it first came out. I got 2 when it first came out. I played it for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. I didn't stream it. I wasn't streaming back then. Because in Ride 2, the AI, you can turn the difficulty level down enough that you can finish on the podium more times than not. Or I could. Or at least middle of the pack most of the time. And you didn't have to qualify for the final race. You would just build up points on the calendar. You could eventually qualify for the last race. Pretty much no matter, you know, how you did. There was no timing This is the only, this game, you can do everything in the career except for the final race without a timer. To qualify for the final race, you need to beat a timer, and the timer doesn't change like in Ride 4. The timer does not change based on the difficulty levels, so I've never qualified for the final race. You have to do the entire course, the full mountain course in less than 20 minutes, and I have never done it. My best time was right around 23 minutes exactly. It was just a few seconds over, a few seconds under. I don't even remember at this point whether it was over or under. Right around 23 minutes. And that extra 3 minutes is a long ways away. You might think, oh, well, that's only 15%. You can cut off 15%. Well, not in a racing game. It's not on a very long lap. You gotta pushing your time by an extra 15% is a lot in a racing game. And I've played the game. That was fairly early on that I got a 23-second lap. I think that was even before I started streaming, or it was during the practice or something. I've not even come close to that. Usually I've gotten around 25 minutes or over 25 minutes in the actual qualifier race. Or qualification session is not a race. Actual qualifier. So that would be a 20% improvement. Which is not going to happen. Although I might still finish higher than 10th, with the last highest level of upgrades on the Superbike, I did finish 3rd in one race. So yeah, we're done. So Super Sport. I have some hope that with the Superbike, once I get to the last season with all the high upgrades, maybe I won't get the thing in 20 minutes. I'm pretty sure of that, but I might finish high up in a race or two. I will mention again for the record that while I'm racing, I can't really respond to chat because my chat is not in front of me where I can read it. I don't have a second monitor or anything. The chat is on a tablet at my side, so I can't really see it. I can glance down whenever I fall off the bike. Other than that, I can't really read it. I can just glance down and acknowledge it. I'm hanging in there. I mentioned this briefly earlier on the streams on a previous YouTube episode that... Oh! Oops, so much for hanging in there. That, now I got distracted, I fell off of what I was going to say. Oh, I hate when that happens. It's tough growing old. I'm an overtired guy. An old retired guy who almost sounds like it now. I don't usually sound that old, but I'm not hydrating. Oh, I was gonna say I don't like to pause in the middle of races. Oh, for crying out loud! I find that kind of rude to the YouTube audience to pause the game to respond. Well, rude to the stream audience too. Anyone that's not the person chatting, it's kind of rude to pause the game to read the one chat and respond to it. I mean, a race. If it's, you know, some games you can do that. But if you're in the middle of a race, you want to kind of watch the race. At least I'm like that. I like chatting when I'm watching stream. I love chatting. But I don't want to see the race pause. I just want to see the race. I don't want to see your hands on the steering wheel either, or your feet on the pedals. I don't need to see that. I want to see the race. I don't need a face cam. I don't want a face cam. I hate face cams. I hate watching videos with face cams. I'm never going to have a face cam because I don't like them. And if I don't like watching them, I'm not going to do them. I know they're popular on streams. I don't like them. I mean, if you're, you know, just talking or something, but if you're playing a game, I kind of want to see the game. I don't watch people that do horror games. I want to see, you know, the shock in their face or something. I don't watch horror games. I don't like horror games. I like horror anyway. Life is scary enough. I don't know why people find that appealing. I've never understood why people found that appealing. Some people do. I don't know. Maybe they're just had more secure lives than I've had. They didn't. They don't have enough things to be afraid of. Have not had enough things to be afraid of in real life, like responsibilities and stuff, that they feel they need that adrenaline rush. I don't know. People outgrow that, right? People outgrow watching horror movies. And I'm talking mostly about, like, you know, cheesy slasher movies, not like classic Dracula or Frankenstein or something. That's a whole different genre. Horror video games are not, you know, are based on jump scares and stuff like that. They're not based on classic, classic Edgar Allan Poe or, you know, Vincent Price movies or something like that. With complicated themes and I think I'm making pretty good time on this course, right? Yeah, I'm more than 2/3 of the way through, and I'm less than half an hour, so it won't be as long as I was afraid. I thought this was a pretty long course, but I mean, it wouldn't be a 20-minute course. The full course is 20 minutes. I thought it was going to be more like 15 minutes to do a lap. Well, for me to do a lap, I thought it would be more like 15 minutes. Over 15 minutes, which would mean it would be at least 45 minutes of just pure racing time. 50 minutes or something of pure racing time. So I thought it would be a longer video for now. Maybe it won't be as long a video. Save it, but I couldn't. No, what? The one thing I'm hoping is that the brakes are better as I upgrade, because the brakes are terrible, but the power is also going to be higher, so the Super Sport, I could brake a lot easier. Brakes are really terrible on this bike right now. But the braking to speed ratio may not be much different. I mean, as I improve the brakes, I'm going to also improve the engine, and so... And it is raining, which has an effect. Even though I'm not playing on the realistic physics model, the rain still has an effect, even on the lower physics model. The only reason I could save it when I hit the grass is because I've got that option set that driving off-road doesn't have as much effect. If you're playing with full physics simulation, then you hit the grass, you're falling off. The sim aspects of this game are fantastic. They've gotten a lot of praise. If you're really a hardcore sim guy, you can even set individual tire pressure because there's only 2 tires. Yeah. Once I took flight, I knew I wasn't going to save it. Halfway through the last lap. That's nice. Maybe I'll be able to get in another qualifier. I'll see what the time is like. I ended the last episode early because I knew this was going to be a long race. I wanted to leave myself enough time. But I could have done a challenge or something to make that episode a little bit longer. But it was still over 40 minutes. Yes, I don't play in first-person view for the realism, but on the realism I play with the helmet on and the road sway and that sort of thing. But this is essentially tank cam view, which is what I'm used to in auto racing. I play with the hood view, which the hood view is the easiest view in auto racing. Because for some reason the chase cam, they turn your car around sideways, so you're looking at the side of your car. You're not even looking into the apex, you're looking away from the apex, which is really disorienting. I can't take it. Motorcycle racing games don't usually suffer from that, but I still get disoriented. Third person view. I've tried to qualify for the last race. Talking about never being able to qualify. I tried to go into third-person view to qualify, and my times were just worse than in this view. The advantage is the field of view. You can see farther ahead. So, since I'm playing with the racing line on, which is the only way I could play this game. I don't play with the racing line on in a lot of racing games, most racing games. Here I do. I'm conserving my voice a little bit more than I normally do, because I'm not hydrated properly. My voice is scratchy and dry. I don't want to pause. Next time I fall off, I'll pause. Since it's good. There we go. Now I'll pause. Better. Pausing now is good because it doesn't immediately jump you right back in the race if you pause while you're flipping through the air. Saturdays, motorcycle racing on Twitch. Sundays, SnowRunner on Twitch. Looking forward to that. Always look forward to that on Sundays. A little bit longer session on Sundays, 5.5 to 6 hours usually. Starting at 12:30 p.m. Central Time. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I do Civilization 6. Starting at 6:30 p.m. Central Time for 3.5 hours. And then Saturdays, this game, 12:30 p.m. U.S. Central Time. Most Saturdays, first Saturday of the month, Dirt Valley 2, the official club, which they're still publishing official club through the end of 2024, which I love. Love that they're doing that. I actually played Dirt Rally 2 yesterday, some off stream. I almost never play any of my games off stream, but I played a little bit. My new, the new Microsoft Rewards program, you get points for playing for 15 minutes a game every day. You can get some reward points. So, but you don't actually have to play it. You can just turn it on, let it run in the background, which is what I often do. But I decided yesterday to actually go ahead and play for 15 minutes, which was fun. I love that game. Still my favorite racing game, which is my favorite genre of games. So, in that sense, you could say it's my favorite game. I don't know if I might have a better game. I can't think of a game I like more. I don't like shooters, but I really liked Quake. Whoa! Was that somebody that fell off their bike? It was. Oh, it's a whole group of guys. Are you stuck there? I hope you're stuck there. I might get to actually finish higher than 10th. I'm near the end of the race. If I hold myself together, maybe it's some kind of bug that. Oh, come on! They're not catching up to me. Maybe I ran into a bug that time where they got all tangled up and just didn't finish. Maybe they respawned on top of each other and their ghosts ran out at the same time, but because they're respawning on top of each other, they just keep respawning on top of each other and on top of each other and on top of each other, and then the ghost runs out. It's a whole group of them. That's an advantageous bug. It'll never get me in the last race, but I did finish third once, and you looked at the last half of the people. No, I finished ahead of a couple of people that didn't have absolutely disastrous times. I knew I couldn't have earned that third place finish legitimately. But I did finish ahead of a couple people that, like I said, didn't have horrific time, so maybe they eventually got out of whatever it was that they were problems they had. No! Really? No! I won that race! Clip it! Clip it! Somebody clip it! Bug or no bug, I won the race! Alright. I clipped it. I don't think I clipped it at the right time. Well, I better hit continue soon before the game bugs out. Wow. Well, I got a chance. If they would ever let me in the final race, I could actually win the race. Everybody was stuck in that one spot. You look at their times. They must have... How did they all get stuck in that one spot? Well, see, there's another bug in the... Well, it's not a bug. It's a design flaw in the game. That the rubber banding is normally very tight. There's only a couple seconds between the first place and the last place. Well, not counting me. I really should hit the button, but I want to just sit here and enjoy this. Yeah, it had to be a bug. It has to be a bug. Well, I'm never updating the game. I don't have auto updates turned on. I've never been waiting for updates to fix some of those audio bugs. I'm not going to update it now if I got a chance of winning. 50 reward upgrade points and 8,000 experience level points. Holy. Well, that's a good way to end a stream, but it hasn't even been 45 minutes yet. Let's get rid of this rain. You know, the sad thing is you can't go back and see. There's no... Another thing that you could do in TT Alaman 2 is you could go back and see your stats for the different races. There's no way to go back in this, unless I'm missing something. There's no way to go back and see what your stats are for particular races, where you finished or anything. I mean, like, manage your seasons, you go here, and it doesn't tell you where you finished. See, here's the active season, but there's no way. It tells me how many performance points I got on my bike, which is actually lower than the final upgrades to the previous bike. But the bike is faster on its own. So. But yeah, of course it's lower because you start off. Well, you start off. I thought you would start off with more performance points on the Superbike. So maybe the Superbike isn't as fast at the lowest difficulty. I played through all 5 performance enhancements, all 5 levels, 1 through 5 on the Super Sport, and on the Superbike, gonna start off from upgrade 1 and go up to upgrade 5, thinking that, well, that would minimize the gap between speed and power of the Superbike with the highest upgrades. Or sorry, Super Sport with the highest upgrades would still be slower than Superbike at the lowest level of upgrades. But the performance points, even at level 2, or no, this is level 1. Yeah, the performance points at level 1. No, this is level 2. The performance points at level 2 are lower in Superbike down here than in Super Sport up here at level 5. But that's gotta be just because of the upgrades. It can't be slower. I can't believe that the Superbike would be slower with just 3 levels of upgrade difference. Anyway, notice I can't, there's no A button there. I can't select it or do anything with it. All I can do is restart it. I can get information on the category. That does nothing. Superbikes are 1000cc and up sport motorbikes designed to achieve peak performance, blah, 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 blah. And, yeah. 600 to 750cc. Yeah, there's no way that they're faster, even with more upgrades. Yeah, I can change to this season from this season, but this season is over. You see the little red line at the end of the streak there? Yeah, that means I did not qualify. I wish you could go back and see how I did to find out. I don't even remember what race it was that I finished 3rd in. This is the first time I ever won a race. Bug or no bug, You could tell it was a bug because I ran right through this entire collection of bikes that were ghosted. And it was like the entire collection of bikes. You saw they were all less than a minute apart from each other. Or less than a second apart. I don't remember. I don't know. I can't look it back up. I can't tell. Oh. Nice. Okay, well, let me go back to the map. It's been 45 minutes. I could end it here. I don't know what else to do. I could do a victory lap around the open world. Yeah, not an entire lap. That would take too long. Maybe I should sit up straight. I took off my gaming gloves. Yeah, I think I'm just going to end the session here. Wow, that was unexpected. Never won a race before. Now, I said I finished third. Now that I realize it was... I see the times. I looked at the times before, and only half of the people had really distant times. The first two people ahead of me were way ahead of me when I finished third. But there were people that finished, I mean, fourth and fifth were not that far ahead, not that far behind me. But like the last four or something were way behind everybody. But it must have been the kind of bug that they must have been the kind of bug that they then got untangled. Maybe everybody got tangled up at some point, and then, well, everybody but two people got tangled up. Two people that I did not get tangled up. But then one group got tangled up and then got untangled, like the next two people behind me. And then the last group, last five racers got all tangled up and then never freed themselves. Or two people freed themselves from the one tangle, but nobody else did. I don't know, but this was a tangle in the very last lap. You saw that the times were only a couple seconds behind my time. So I don't know, maybe they got untangled. If they actually finished, they would have gotten untangled. But once you finish ahead of them, they don't actually finish the race. They just, I don't know if they add a certain amount of time to where they were, or they just make up where they are. I don't know. You would think that they would just go ahead and play out the race, but without the graphics, so, you know, it would go very quickly. And if they did that, they would finish all right close to each other if they were still tangled up when I crossed the finish line. But I was more than, you know, that close. Well, it was in minutes, so I don't see it. I was maybe a minute ahead. So yeah, that could have been when I passed them, I could have only had like a minute of my race to go. And so when I finished my race, then they got themselves untangled and finished the race themselves a minute behind me. That was nice though. I enjoyed that. I will celebrate by looking at the Discovery Challenge. Oh, do I have any other journals? No, I did all the journals. Oh, okay, these are only... I have to do a season with every particular rider, huh? These are all ones from the Discovery, and I've unlocked all of those. The tutorials, I may not have gotten them all. Yes, this one is locked because it's racing in the TT. I don't unlock this until I can race in the TT, and I've never raced. So this tells you right there, I've never... This you get when you qualify for the qualifier. Yeah, you need the, to actually qualify for the final race, and then it unlocks this. So that one I don't have, and this one I also don't have, probably because, Yeah, complete a mandatory event, which I've never completed in either the Super Sport or the Superbike. So, sigh, I'll never get to read these two. I have to find a wiki somewhere that tells me the text, because you know that's so important to me. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here, folks. If you're watching on Twitch, stick around. I'm going to raid somebody. If you're watching on YouTube, that's going to do it for this episode. Next episode will be the next weekend at 6 p.m. U.S. Central Time. So, yeah. Twitch, stick around. I'll find somebody to raid. YouTube, next episode. Either way, I hope you have a great night, great afternoon, great morning, great evening. How many ways can I screw up the order of that? Great whenever until I see you again. And wherever you end up going, on the road or in life, be sure to enjoy the drive. All right, folks. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.